In Hadith Jibril, when Prophet ﷺ was asked about the signs of the last hour, and he said, one of them, he said, the slave woman will give birth to her master or mistress. You mentioned in a lecture that this is to do with riba and commercial surrogacy, which is women are being hired to give birth to someone else's child. My question is this actually a sign of married gay couples wanting babies? Because it seems like more and more women are being hired by gay couples to give birth to their children.
That could be one of the ways in which surrogate parenting took place, yes. Mm-hmm.
My last question. It is suggested by the UK government that from 2019, children going to primary schools will be taught about relationships, including LGBT relations, which is gay, lesbian, bisexual, these relations. Members of the Jewish, Christian and Muslim faith are opposing this. What is your advice for the Muslims living in the UK?
You cannot prevent it. No, because this is not happening by accident. No. This is by divine design. Allah is testing you. Allah is testing you. You have come to this part of the world which is rich, and you've left that part of the world which is miserably poor. The Prophet said that people will follow Dajjal because of his mountain of bread. He said so. That people will follow Dajjal for his bread, because he has a mountain of bread. He said so. So, if you choose to remain with the bread and the affluent life and the comfortable life, then you will not be able to keep your children. No, you will lose your children. That's the price you will pay. If you take your children out of the school, because in the school they're being taught that a man can marry another. And incidentally, I don't use this LBGT terminology. You'll never hear me for that. I will never use such terminology. It is homosexuality and it is condemned in the Quran. Don't hide it with cosmetic words like gay. No. It is condemned in the Quran, and I will not tolerate a cosmetic covering of terminology which should be condemned. Homosexuality it is, and the school will teach your children that a man can marry another man. That's acceptable behavior. That's their morality. So you take your child out of the school and you want to do homeschooling. But guess what? They don't have to send inspectors now knocking at doors to get information. No. Cryptocurrencies is coming to fulfill a certain function. The function of cryptocurrencies is to bring down the monetary system that now exists, so that an entirely electronic monetary system will replace it. That's the function of cryptocurrencies. When that electronic monetary system takes over completely, I was traveling from Geneva to London with British Airways. When I wanted to buy a bottle of water, they told me I can't pay for it cash. That's what it is. A bottle of water, you have to pay for it electronically. That's British Airways. So it's coming now, the rope is tightening around our necks, and yet they ban Imran Hosein from coming to the masjid to lecture. Shame on you. So when the electronic monetary system takes over completely, they don't need to send people to knock on the doors of your house. They know your profile. You can't even buy a loaf of bread without an electronic trail. So when they see that you've taken your children out of school and you're homeschooling, in order to protect your children from that homosexuality and so on, then they'll find an excuse to come and seize your children from you and take your children away from you and give your children to couples who will maintain your children and be caregivers for your children to ensure that your children go to such a school and be taught that a man can marry another man and get a marriage certificate. At that time when that happened, please do me a favor. Don't send me an email. Don't send me an email to ask me, Sheikh, what can I do? They took my children. That's coming.
Ilahilastulil Firdaus a'la wala aqwa نار الجحيم